black people and white people have a parent-child relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So if we openly come out and say we hate white people, or we have an anxiety or frustration towards white people, they will destroy us. So what do? We ultimately become like them. Out of the fear, we become like them. We talk like them. We dress like them. We have the same views, the same values. We want to live in the same community. We want to marry them. Because if we feel that we can get them to see us like you, I'm human like you, I bleed like you, I'm American, then somehow they're not going to hurt us. Somehow, I got a white wife. I ain't like them Negroes. I went to school and got 6 degrees. I ain't like them Negroes. The fear of it. Don't treat me like I'm black. See me as a human. That's why we don't want to identify with being African. Because when you say you're African, the thing that's giving us is pain, it's suffering, it's being hungry. I don't want to be African. Parent-child relationship. The fear makes us straighten our hair, makes us put the blonde wigs on, makes us bleach our skin, makes us marry them. The fear of it, of them hurting us, makes us go to these Trump rallies and say, make America great again. When has it been great for black people? I need to know, when has it been great for black people? We had some astonishing things, but it hasn't been great for us. Not that we've been great for white folk. Them just giving out land to the white people. It hasn't been great like that for us. We had to struggle and fight for everything. For everything. So, Confederate flag, marrying them, those are all responses to the Oedipus complex, to the idea that white people are our parents, and if we want them to accept us and we want them to not be hurt, we have to be like them. We have to be like them. You sorry? I'm sorry?
It's like the ultimate achievement. I'm from Boston.
Right.
So I've seen it all. Every black African-American studies guy comes through Harvard. They're all married white.
Yes. Yes.
They never come to the black community.
Nope.
They put on a show for buck dancing and all the rest of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So hiding behind your religious beliefs. We got a lot of that in the community. The idea of turning the other cheek. Now, I like I said, I'm not Christian, but I've studied the Bible. And I do know that Jesus said he brought a sword too, as well. He came to turn mothers against sons, sons against fathers, etc., etc. We can't hide behind our religious beliefs. That can't be the thing to do at all. Because at some point, there has to be a breaking point. And a lot of people do that. George Jackson says, patience has its limits. Taken too far, it becomes cowardice. Patience has its limits, right? You can be patient, but taking too far, now it's just cowardice. One day we're going to do something. One day we're going to stand up. One day we're going to take back. Now you're just making excuses. Now you're being a coward. And that's not connected to black manhood at all. Patience taken too far becomes cowardice. How long are you going to wait? Because white folk have been telling us wait since my great-great-great-great-grandparents' generation. All they doing is telling us to wait. And we just been waiting with our hands on our lap. Yeah. Cowardice taken too far becomes, patience taken too far becomes cowardice. So we see this in all areas, not just Christianity. I'm not bashing on Christianity. But even in Islam, Africans dealing with the Arabs and the invasions and all these things. How long are we going to wait? How long? One thing I love about the brother George Jackson is that they falsely incarcerated his brother. And y'all should do some research on this brother. He was one of the founding fathers of the Black Guerrilla family, right? Which was started as a prison gang to fight against racism in the prison, right? And so him and his bros got together, and his brother had a court date, and they went in the courtroom with guns and broke their brother out, and said and broke out Assata Shakur too, who's been living in Cuba. This is that whole organization. We ain't gonna wait and play. Assata Shakur? To our knowledge, yeah, she's still living in Cuba. So that's Tupac's aunt, by the way. If you don't know, that's Tupac's aunt. So how long are we going to wait? Because then it becomes cowardice after a while. When are we going to stand up to the bully? Because every day you're running home from school and you don't want to fight him. When are you going to fight him? Patience taken too far becomes cowardice. All right, black men don't hurt. We heal, we provide, and we protect. There is no evidence of rape or child molestation prior to the transatlantic slave trade, the colonization of Africa, or Arab invasion. I'll go one step further and quote John Henry Clark and say that in African traditional dialect, there is no word for rape or child molestation, old folks home, and et cetera, et cetera. If the word doesn't exist, the action doesn't exist. Because remember, the word is the creation of the thing. If we don't have a word for rape, child molestation, old folks home in any traditional African language, that means we was not doing that. And prior to slavery, Arab invasion, and the colonization of Africa. When you say rape, you saying it in a European language. You saying it in French, Spanish, and etc. You're not saying no African dialect. Anybody here is Haitian? Speak Creole? Okay. All right. Well, I was going to make a reference to that. So black men do not hurt. We heal, we provide, and we protect. You cannot be a black man molesting children, touching children. That is not connected to manhood. That is damaging. We know where it came from. It came from the cracker. Let's just be real. It came from the cracker. They have generationally poisoned us, but it is not something that can continuously be passed on. The idea of grown men talking to young girls is upsetting to me. And we have made that so normalized in the culture that they say, young girls will say, I only talk to older guys. I don't care how fast a young girl is. She ain't fast enough to catch up to me. I don't care how fast she is. I don't care how short her shorts is. When I look at her, that's a young girl. And I see her as a young girl. And I got to protect her as a young girl. Grown men should not be riding by school zones picking up little girls. We have normalized that behavior, and that is something we got to get rid of. I could go into deep where it comes from, right? But that's in a whole nother story. All right. Women cannot define manhood. Sorry, ladies, but it's the truth. I can only tell a woman what I like in women, but I cannot define women. The same way that women cannot define men. Manhood is strictly defined and should be controlled by men. The problem that we're having is that a lot of black women are saying things like, you need to act like a man, as if they know the struggle in which we face. Now, you can show empathy to what we go through as a black man, but you don't know the struggle of a black man because you're not a black man. You my helpmate, you my partner, you my right hand, but you don't know this fight that I'm in every day. Because the reality of it is, we ain't looked at the same in society. The black woman does get more benefits, does get more set aside. When she makes mistakes, the government will provide for her mistakes. When we make mistakes, we ass out. Anybody know how to get HUD? I want some HUD. I want some free Section 8. Anybody know how to get it? I don't know how to get it. But it's given to the women. So what I'm saying is women cannot define what it means to be a man. We must define what it means to be a man. I can tell a woman all day what I like in women, but I can't tell her how to be a woman. Only her mother could show her that. They got a whole little strategy about how they wipe when they use the bathroom. They got their whole thing that they know how to do. The same way we got our thing, right? Their mother got to teach them that. So women cannot define what it means to be a man for us. That means our mothers, that means our spouses cannot define that for us. We have to define that. Okay? And as we see, we just had Will Smith smack Chris Rock at the Oscars because his woman was defining his manhood. He punking you. You heard what he said about me? And he got up and made an irrational move and smacked another black man. And then think for a second that black man got a family too. And now he got to go back to his family being smacked by another black man and hold his head down. So you took away his manhood because a woman made you feel like you was not a man. How many black men are in prison because they did something in reaction to a woman being in the proximity? Because we could joke about things when we by ourselves. But when women around, we get escalated. Well, don't you say that about me? But we've been joking about that the whole time. When women come around, it's a different dynamic. We ready to fight and kill. Because we don't want to be emasculated in front of a woman. And that's not bashing our women. I love our women. But they cannot define who we are. We must define who we are. And they define who they are. And then we meet in the middle as a whole. But they can't tell us what manhood is. Because they don't have the struggle that we have at all. There are set-asides and things that are put in place for us to be held back. Hey, how you doing? All right. So The difference between an archetype and a stereotype. Archetype is like the original thing, like the thing of what it means to be a man. Stereotype is the offshoot, like you just taking on the characteristics. You're not really a man. You just playing like a man. And so we see that they have their differences, but they also have their similarities. So one of the similarities is provider, right? The drug dealer, one of the reasons he's selling drugs is he want to provide. Sadly enough, the white man has kept him out, has miseducated him, but he's selling drugs because he want to provide, right? So we see provider of clothing, shelter, etc. They also provide knowledge. Now, some of the knowledge always ain't good knowledge because we know pimps got a good talk game. They can give you some good knowledge. They can give you some good game. The difference is what type of knowledge is they providing, good knowledge or bad knowledge. Antisocial behavior. Black men will always be antisocial in society. One of the problems that we've been given is the idea that antisocial behavior is someone who doesn't like to be in crowds. That's not what the actual definition of antisocial behavior is. Antisocial behavior is someone who breaks the rules of society. That's what antisocial behavior is. Someone who breaks the rules of society. The white man say, wear your cap forward. The black man wear his cap backwards. They look at it as antisocial. The white man say, pull your pants up. We sag our pants. That's antisocial behavior. Black men can never exist in a European society. We will always be antisocial because this is the white man's world. Give me 1 second. I'm almost done. This is a white man's society. So we will always reject that. The problem is how we use the rejection is the thing. How we use the rejection, right? So black men will always be antisocial. Archetype, dealing with masculinity, morals, values, interests, temperament, goals, protector, racial and cultural identity, right? The stereotype of a man, violent towards themselves and their own people. They have no morals. How they get their money is how they get their money. If I got to pimp out a young 13-year-old girl to get this money, I'm going to do that. That doesn't make you a man. But the idea that they have no morals, selling drugs. Like I've heard stories of people saying, oh, I sold crack to my own mother. You sold crack to your own mother? To get $1? That don't make you a man. That's no morals, right? No values. They are exploiters of his own people. They are exploiters. One of the most fascinating things I find is that black men will sell drugs to their own people to take that blood money and go sell it and go spend it in Gucci and Prada. You will destroy your people and then go take it right back to the white man. God damn. And all I get is a turkey on Thanksgiving. After you sold all these drugs, you destroyed all these families, all I get is a turkey, a give back, Nicky Barnes, all these big drug dealers that we admire, all I get is a turkey. You destroyed a whole generation. I grew up in the crack era. A whole generation. All right? The social type has no cultural identity, right? And they are destructive. Africans do not destroy. We construct, we build, we are building people. So we see the difference between an archetype and a stereotype, right? Masculinity is connected to manhood. Having morals is connected to manhood. Values is connected to manhood. Our interests, our temperament. There are some things that men should not be getting involved in. And one of them is gossip. I don't gossip. Barbara Carlton knows me. I'll be like, you know, I mean, what you gonna do? That's my favorite line. What you gonna do? I don't gossip. I don't got time to gossip. I got the whole effing world on my back. I don't got time to gossip. Goals, being protectors, right? Those things are very important to being an archetype of a man. And then again, I'm going to repeat, we see the similar things that they have in common, right? The similar things they have in common. So we see Malcolm X, we see Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Marcus Garvey, and then at the bottom, we see all the so-called stereotypes of what it means to be a black man. How many women I can sleep with? I'm a man, boy. I was just boom, boom, boom. That don't make you a man. Actually, it's more discipline to say, I'm not going to sleep with every woman. I'm going to preserve my energy and my strength to not be the whore of the community. Because men can be whores too. All right? All right, so solutions for divining manhood. Very simple, very basic. Define our own culture, set rules, laws, and punishments within that culture. Set rules, laws, and punishment for that culture. What do I mean by that? Does that mean that we're going to go out and hurt people? No. But our power is in who we support. Our power is, money is power, right? We always say that, money is power. So why are we giving our power to other people? Making us powerless. If money is power, control your money in your community. This is why I always wear something African when I'm out. I buy from Africans. I shop from Africans because I am African. I'm not Gucci. I'm not Prada. I'm not Louis. Those are all European last names. One of the things in slavery, they used to do something called slave branding. Jonathan, is it? Jonathan? You said what? Johnny. This part is for you, my brother. One of the things in slavery they used to do is they have a hot iron and they would brand the name of the slave master on the enslaved African. This is what they would do. You belong to that plantation. This is why some sororities, they still do the branding thing, right? They still do it. That comes from slavery. It was called slave branding. Now we wearing name brands. So we still putting European names on our bodies. We still putting white people names on our bodies and wearing it as if it is something that is culturally incorrect. I wear my clothing. Now, I might be an African in the Western Hemisphere, but I wear what represents me, and I buy it from who represents me. I can't go sell nothing to no Asian person. They ain't going to buy it. I can't sell nothing to no Jew. They ain't going to buy it. But they know they can come in our community and sell us anything, and we're going to eat it up. Anything. Even the fake crap they're going to sell us. The stuff that's killing us and they're going to sell us. They know that. They know that. That ain't manhood. That ain't manhood.